When it comes to crucial decisions for a team with championship aspirations like the Celtics, the weight of every move is enormous. Now, with the potential trade of Kristaps Porzingis for Nikola Vucevic, the big question arises: who truly makes more sense for Boston? Let's be clear, Porzingis, with all his talent and potential, brings a tremendous threat offensively and defensively, but his constant injuries are an ongoing issue. Vucevic, with his reliability and consistency, seems like the safer option. But will Vucevic's stability be enough to face the major challenges of the NBA? Imagine this situation: Boston in the playoffs, and Porzingis, if healthy, could be the difference maker that decides the game. But what if the injuries return? Is the solution in Vucevic's stability, even without the same offensive and defensive versatility as Porzingis? The big dilemma hanging over Boston fans is an inevitable question. Is Kristaps Porzingis' injury finally signaling the end of his era in Boston? Porzingis' injury history is no secret, but with every fall and injury, the frustration of fans and the coaching staff has grown. Even when he was on the court, his impact was undeniable, with performances to remember. But when the moment of truth came, under the pressure of the playoffs, Porzingis was absent. The big concern now is, will the possibility of more injuries deeply affect the Celtics' performance in the most critical moments? The Boston team is already feeling the weight of this responsibility, and Porzingis' constant absences may be undermining their title hopes. Imagine a scenario where Porzingis wasn't absent from the NBA Finals or was still playing at the peak of his physical ability. The Celtics could have won the title, or at least come much closer. And now, with his health constantly at risk, the question remains: is it worth risking another season with him, or is it time to move on? The situation is tense. The decision to keep Porzingis with all his technical skill, or to pursue a more reliable option like Vucevic, could define the immediate future of the franchise. Fans and experts are divided, with some arguing that the risk isn't worth it, while others believe that Porzingis' ability is irreplaceable. The team has championship aspirations, but will his injuries destroy that dream irreversibly? The big question lingering over the heads of fans and experts is whether the potential trade for Nikola Vucevic will bring the stability that the Celtics' frontcourt desperately needs. When the trade was discussed, many were surprised by the possibility of losing a player with Porzingis' potential. But looking more closely at the situation, the fundamental issue is whether Vucevic can really be the definitive solution to the defensive fragility Boston has shown. Vucevic, as experienced as he is, doesn't have the same shot-blocking presence as Porzingis, which raises a crucial point. Will he have the ability to contain the attacks of strong teams like Milwaukee and Philadelphia in the most decisive moments? The comparison between the two is inevitable. Porzingis brings a greater threat in the paint, with his ability to protect the rim and an extremely versatile offensive game, even stretching to the three-point line. On the other hand, Vucevic offers enviable consistency. He's a player who has proven to be unbeatable in terms of durability. But the real question is, will this durability be enough? The Celtics need a player who shows up when most needed, someone who isn't an unknown in the playoff season. Porzingis, despite his injuries, still has the surprise factor and the power to dominate the game, while Vucevic represents a safer option. But will he be able to replace Porzingis' offensive and defensive versatility? Imagine a tense scenario: the decisive game, the Celtics under pressure, and Vucevic facing off against Giannis Antetokounmpo or Joel Embiid. The question will undoubtedly be his ability to defend those players with the same efficiency that Porzingis would. Or will he just be another body in the paint? Expectations on Vucevic are rising, but his mission is monumental. Does he have the energy and vigor necessary to replace a giant like Porzingis? And more importantly, can he be the defensive leader the Celtics so desperately need? With the urgency of a potential trade closing in, the tension in Boston's stands grows. The Celtics know that the championship window is now, and any wrong move could cost them the chance to win the long-awaited championship. Vucevic could be the key, but will he be the game changer or just another piece that doesn't fit as well as expected? Only time will tell. The decision to trade Kristaps Porzingis is one of the boldest and riskiest moves the Celtics have made in recent times, and the pressure on the team has never been more intense. Many view this trade as a strategic move, an attempt to strengthen the roster with a more durable player, one less likely to get injured. The Boston team, knowing that their window for a title is narrow, cannot afford to risk the continuity of a player like Porzingis, whose injuries were a limiting factor in crucial moments last season. The question, however, is whether this trade will truly benefit the team in the short and long term, or if it will be a double-edged sword. The argument in favor of this trade is clear. Porzingis is by far one of the most talented players in the NBA when healthy, but with his injury history, he represents a risk that could cost dearly in the most decisive moments. In this context, Vucevic emerges as the ideal answer, a more reliable player who has proven himself in recent seasons, with a steady presence on the court and solid play with no surprises. In terms of team building, Vucevic could be a pillar of stability. He fits what Boston needs right now, someone who is available and capable of contributing immediately. However, the trade also raises questions that bring a significant amount of uncertainty. Are the Celtics playing with fire? By letting go of Porzingis, such a talented player, are they diminishing their chances of winning the title? What happens if Vucevic fails to bring the impact the Celtics expect? If he doesn't make up for the absence of Porzingis in the paint, the defense will be compromised, and the team may lose the balance needed to fight for the title. Moreover, a more terrifying question for Boston: what if the trade, which was supposed to bring more stability, results in a loss of offensive and defensive potential? Imagine the chaos within the team, with players questioning the move, the front office being pressured by the media, and of course, the shadow of doubt hanging over the immediate future of the Celtics. The risk is real, and the decision to make. This move could be either a winning play or a major mistake. The pressure on the Celtics right now is overwhelming. Every second that passes, the clock is ticking down to the deadline to make crucial decisions. They must act quickly, with precision, with no room for errors. The risk of losing Porzingis could be the price to secure a more stable roster. Will this strategic move work, or will it turn into a nightmare for Boston? The future of the Celtics depends on it. What happens in the coming weeks could define the trajectory of the team for years to come. This trade can be viewed from several angles, and each team has something to gain. For the Celtics, Vucevic's arrival provides a reliable, solid solution. His durability and consistency were missing in a roster that had been dependent on a key player always prone to injuries. However, the looming question is, can Vucevic fill the void left by Porzingis' versatility, who, despite injuries, had a unique ability to impact both offensively and defensively? In a season so full of pressure, the hope that Vucevic's stability will be enough to lead the team to the title may be riskier than it seems. Is Vucevic's reliability really what the Celtics need, or will he be just a more stable piece without the ability to shine in the most critical moments? On the other hand, the Bulls, by adding Julius Randle, are betting on a player with immense offensive power. Randle has the ability to be a true offensive standout, and he could be exactly what the Bulls needed to strengthen their attack. But will his arrival be enough to elevate the team to the next level? Randle has his ups and downs, and his defense isn't exactly what the Bulls need. The big question for Chicago is whether the addition of such a talented offensive player can be balanced by the lack of defensive presence the team still faces. This trade could be the turning point for the Bulls, or perhaps it's an illusion that won't hold up during the season. For the Wolves, Porzingis' arrival could be exactly what the team needed: an elite rim protector, something the squad has struggled to find in recent years. With the arrival of such a defensively impactful player, the Wolves could finally take the next step in their evolution. But the scenario is not that simple. Relying on Porzingis to protect the rim could be a huge asset, but will he be able to maintain his durability in a long and grueling season? The risk of injuries is still present, and the pressure on Porzingis to be Minnesota's defensive anchor will be immense.